Hi, and welcome back to this week's podcast episode of Web3 Compass. Today I want to talk about the DeFi Talents Program, which is an 18-week-long mentoring program from the Frankfurt School Blockchain Center in which I got accepted in. And I want to give you more details about the program. I will also tell you what my expectations are for the program and what podcast episodes I want to create in the future. So as I told you, the program is 18 weeks long and you can apply for the program. And if you get accepted, it is completely free of charge. So it's basically something like a scholarship and it is financed by partners and supporters, which you can find on the DeFi Talents website. Some of them are, for example, Ledger, Algorand, or QuantStamp. And if you get accepted in, and it's really a very diverse group. There are people from all over the globe. And if you get accepted in, the program is structured into 3 parts. In the first part, you are going to acquire generalist knowledge about the fundamentals of blockchain, crypto assets, and DeFi. And in the second phase, you get to know your stakeholder domains. And I will explain in a few seconds what this is. And in the third phase, you focus on one stakeholder domain and develop a deep knowledge in this domain. So what are those stakeholder domains? In the article written by Professor Sandner on Medium, it says that you have basically 5 different paths from which you can choose on. So the first part is that you become an entrepreneur and you found a successful DeFi startup that is quickly valued at more than $1 million. The second path is that you become a technologist or developer and work on a DeFi application or like a token protocol. Another path is to become a lawyer and to support, for example, the entrepreneurs. The fourth path is to become an investor or venture capitalist to invest in such companies. And the last path is to become a multiplicator or influencer in the DeFi space. And this is also the path I'm looking forward to go because of my podcast, because I want to get more specific knowledge. I also want to make more high quality podcast episodes for you, but also for me. Because with all the stuff in the DeFi space going on in the last month, I just want to have more knowledge and I also want to give you more information. I want to be more critical because I think there are a lot of reasons to be critical, especially in the blockchain space. There's a lot of noise. There are a lot of things that don't work. Of course, there are some very good use cases, but I would say with every good use case, there are dozens of use cases where you basically don't need a blockchain. And I just want to create better podcast episodes for you. This is why I'm also planning to create more DeFi related content. I also shared it on LinkedIn. And I think also in the last podcast episode, I mentioned it. I think that finance is the area which is impacted by the blockchain the most. Of course, there might be some cases also in the industry, but I think especially in the finance area, blockchain has strong use cases. And for the DeFi program, maybe I also have to say something how it is structured when I say 18 weeks. Some of you probably know that I also have a full-time job. It's possible to do this with a full-time job. You meet every 2 weeks, and then for I think for a 90-minute session where you talk about different topics, and there are, for example, guest speakers, and you work in different groups, and you also get assignments which you have to do until the next lecture, basically. And it's like a different style of learning. I like it because you can do a lot of research on your own. And I did the first assignment, and one question here was, for example, how is the DeFi stack structured? And I did some research, and I want to share it a little bit with you what I found out, because I read a paper now I have to look up how he is called. It's Professor Fabian Schär from the University of Basel. in this paper, there was a great visualization of how the DeFi stack looks like. So at the bottom, you have basically the settlement layer. It's basically the blockchain, for example, Ethereum or Bitcoin. And based on top of the blockchain, there is the asset layer with all these different tokens, for example, fungible tokens, non-fungible tokens. And to be honest, I really want to learn more about this layer because I read about different standards like ERC20, but I just need more knowledge about it. I think in German there's such a term which is called Halbwissen, which is something like translated directly into English, it's half knowledge. So basically you know something, but you do not know, you do not fully understand it, and then it gets very dangerous because you might get the impression that you understand it, but you do not fully. And I want to know more about these different token standards. And then based on top of the asset layer is the protocol layer, where you have all these different protocols, for example, decentralized exchanges, borrowing or lending protocols, financial products, insurance, asset management, and many more. And I was also very interested in this layer. I also looked at Aave, which is like a lending protocol, and I also currently doing more research about flash loans, where you can basically, as far as I understood it yet, borrow a lot of money for a very short time, like 13 seconds, for example, which, for example, quantitative traders can use for their trades. And yeah, I'm really interested to get to know more about the protocol layer, and also to get my hands dirty, to try out some few protocols with real money, because I don't want to sit in the ivory tower. I really want to try it out. And then based on the protocol layer, there's the application layer, where you have like all different applications which make the protocols easier to use for the end customer, or how do you say it, for the end user. And then based on the application layer, there's lastly the aggregation layer. And these are, for example, here in the paper, he describes it as user-centric platforms that connect to several applications and protocols. And it could be, for example, like an aggregator for institutional investors and one for retail investors. And yeah, I think it was very interesting to look closely at the DeFi stack. And I think it will be getting even more interesting trying out some few protocols in the future. And also maybe more goals for me are also to look more at different stable coins, to look more about algorithmic stable coins, to really understand how the Terra Luna disaster happened. Could it be avoided, or maybe do I think that algorithmic stable coins are in general not sensible? I also want to get more knowledge about the whole crypto collateral thing. And also, with all this lending, I also want to know how stable is the ecosystem, because in recent months, we saw with Terra Luna and all these hedge funds and investors having like a domino effect. I really want to know how stable is the system. And I don't know, or I know that I cannot at the current moment give a proper valuation of the situation. So there are a lot of things which I'm interested in doing. If you're also interested in the DeFi Talents Program, there will be a new application period, I think next year. You can already find it on Medium. I think they will start, here it says it will start on April 2023. But the Frankfurt School Blockchain Center also offers like a distributed ledger technologies program, especially for women in the blockchain space. And they also offer a NFT talents program. as far as I'm informed. So maybe this is something which you find interesting. And yeah, I'm excited to look more at financial use cases in the upcoming month. And I'm also very excited about your feedback. To be honest, at the current moment, the Discord is currently a little bit dead. So I really want to improve it in the future. I also need to post a little bit more there. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to learn more and also to take you with me on my journey. And I hope that we can learn some things together. And until the next episode, I wish you a nice week and have a great day. Cheers.